Welcome back to another episode of Perkins Pipes. Got the Zion National Park hat on. Got a shirt that's the particular color that I want for this episode. And I've got this hardwood from Missouri Meerschaum. Love this little guy. Appreciate this. As a gift from a friend and some tobacco from a friend. Got a little Presbyterian mixture in here. So why am I talking about friends? Why am I talking about particular colors and Zion National Park? Well, you're about to find out. Let's get this guy lit. Let's get to talking. Oh, lost my tamper there. So what are we talking about here today? I want to talk about a family vacation, but not just any family vacation. We have some very, very dear friends. And we vacationed with this family over the years, a couple of times, some pretty substantial vacation trips together. And I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about this particular trip. And I want to talk about the idea of vacationing with someone else. This trip that I want to talk about goes back to just to 2018, so just a few years ago for us, and we got together and decided. Trying to think if this is the one, and yes, this is the one. The other husband and wife, and my wife and I. That particular year, we're all celebrating a milestone birthday. Now, because it involves our wives, I'm not going to say what birthday that was. Although, you might be able to guess at it. But at any rate, it was a milestone birth year for us. So, we decided to take this significant trip together. And we wanted to go out west. So we did, we hit the Grand Canyon, several other sites as well. Vermilion Cliffs in Arizona, Painted Desert, Petrified Forest. Sedona, Arizona. And then the really big part of it was the Grand Canyon and Zion National Park. So there's no way to put into a video how amazing this trip was. So I'm going to start off with a few pictures of our time at the Grand Canyon. If you've never been to the Grand Canyon in the United States, and you love the outdoors at all, I highly recommend it. So we went. We spent a day at the. There's several different ways you can access the Grand Canyon, but basically, you're looking at the north rim or the south rim of the canyon, and again, there's various trails down into the canyon. So we started off on the south rim, and what can I say? We stopped at this big tourist lookout before going down into the canyon. And my friends, standing there, it looked fake. It looked like a movie backdrop. The scale, the scope of this, You just couldn't comprehend it. It actually didn't look real. Beautiful, though. Glorious, right? And then we started to hike down into the canyon. And we weren't going to go all the way. We knew that. Not everybody in our party could handle going that far. I think at that point, we had a couple, their 4 young adult sons. Goodness, blowing some tobacco here. Their 4 young adult sons, and then our young adult son and young adult daughter. And then the 4 of us, the prime, the parents of the group. And we decided those who wanted to were going to hike probably about, I don't know, halfway, maybe 3/4 of the way down into the canyon. And I'm realizing right now as I'm recording this how utterly futile this is as a video. And I'm remembering this back. It was just breathtaking. The glorious rock formations of the canyon itself. Some of the greenery. You might not expect greenery around the Grand Canyon, but there was. And there's this spectacular blue sky behind and above the canyon. It was just remarkable. And we love to hike. I mentioned that before, and we're going to do a video at some point specifically talking about hiking, just hiking in general. But we love to hike, and it was a hiker's paradise. It just was wonderful. Going down, coming back up. Even stayed to see the sunset. We've been told, you need to see the sunset over the Grand Canyon, so we stayed long enough to be able to do that. Get some photographs. It was just marvelous. And then we made a mistake. We drove around the east side then to get to the north side of the canyon. And we were going to go to Zion National Park. Then we were going to hit the north rim of the Grand Canyon. And that, my friends, was a mistake. We went to Zion, and after one day, we decided to blow off the north rim of the Grand Canyon. Friends, Zion National Park, as of 2018, would have been what I said was the most beautiful place I had ever been. The hiking was even better than in the Grand Canyon. And part of that was because there just were so many different trails and so many different paths you could take in and around and through Zion. I remember a place called Emerald Pools, I believe it was called. The Narrows. Some of you may know of the Narrows. Very narrow passage through some water, and depending on the time of year you are, how high up the water was. We were hiking through water. I don't think it ever got past really our calves, maybe to our knees. Wonderfully rocky hiking. And what stunned us about Zion were the colors. The color of the rock, and this is the closest shirt that I have to that color, was this wonderful orangish, reddish color to the stone. And then the sky was just a spectacular blue. And you put those together, and it was like nothing we have here in Indiana. Now, obviously, I love Indiana. We love where we live. But this spectacular color, And it was funny because as we were driving around and through the other sites as well, we were in two different vans. We'd flown from Indiana to Las Vegas, rented a couple of vans, then we're drove back to Las Vegas and flew home. And so my wife and the other lady and some of the children were in the one van. The other husband and I and some of the others were in the other van. And we would be driving along, and I would get on the phone, and I would call back to the other van and say, "Are you looking at this? Are you seeing these sights out the windows? It's just magnificent." And one of the sons from the other family. And Cameron, this is a shout out to you. Cameron, who's now in the Marines, found that so funny, and would just kind of playfully mocking me, and he'd talk everything after that, be like, "Isn't this just magnificent?" Because it really, I was so overcome by the stunning colors, and again, especially in Zion, truly the best hiking that I had done to date. Now, there's going to be another video coming up sometime where I talk about something else that may have even topped that. So, Grand Canyon, Zion National Park, highly recommend these places. If you've never had a chance to go there, you need to get there at some point in your life. Now, let's talk about the idea of vacationing with another family. My friend was telling me that he had talked with some people at work and mentioned that they were going on a trip with some friends. And this coworker had said, "I've never even really considered that, really going on vacation with another family." I can say it's not for everybody. I can say it's not for everybody. You're obviously in close proximity with other people for a significant length of time. But our two families have done so much together. We've lived so much life together that now we almost, it's not that we couldn't vacation separately, just our own individual families. But both of our families love each other so much, and we love being together, that when somebody talks about doing a vacation, somebody inevitably says, "Well, are we going to get to do it with the other family?" And I don't know, I just, there's something about it. We both dearly love our own families individually, of course, but the idea of being together and that shared experience, and then, of course, sharing the pictures afterward, and sharing the videos and of course the memories. I will say it adds something to the experience to share it with someone else, and then to have those memories you talk about together over the years. So, talk to us a little bit. Do you like to vacation with anybody else? Is that something you like to do? Vacation with other families? And what about Zion National Park? And what about the Grand Canyon? Have you ever been to those particular locations? We'd love to hear your thoughts. As Malcolm Guite likes to say, I do these little things in order at last to do nothing. Or as I like to say in Latin, Parva ut tandem, nihil agam. Have a wonderful day.